Hello, welcome to the I Live Truth podcast and channel. My name's Earl, and let's do this. For those that are new here, make sure you bookmark ilivetruth.com, join the Telegram channel, I Live Truth, and like, comment, subscribe, and share. So typically, I'll post the audio on ilivetruth.com, and you can get that pretty much immediately after I record it, and then typically a day later is when the YouTube video will be up. For some reason, the notifications for the videos seem to be a day late, but they're up. Anyway, today I want to talk about the tragedy of, is your life a tragedy? That'll be the title. So, I was thinking about it, after I finished the book, Getting the Love You Want by Harville Hendrix and his wife. I don't know her name, but the basis for the book is basically that everybody experiences some type of childhood trauma, and then we repress it as we become adults in order to function in society. Somehow the subconscious or God pairs you with somebody who, or you pair yourself, or God pairs you with somebody that essentially recreates the traumas that you experienced in childhood. And since you're in a safe, comfortable, safe place with your partner, and it typically comes out like a year or two, or after the honeymoon phase is over, you start to the child in you comes out, the inner child comes out, and the purpose, according to this book, is to heal. So anyway, I finished that book. It's a great book. It's awesome, and I especially like that they give lots of examples of couples who Harville, counseled, or whatever you want to call it, that were his patients, and he used the methods in the book, and he, explains how effective they were. Anyway, I was talking about it to somebody I work with and my mom, and I was thinking, so far, all right, my daughter's she's about 3.5, my son's like, I don't know, 8 months, maybe close to 9 months now. And so far, these kids have never seen a healthy relationship. Like, they don't know what love is. And, I'm 33 years old, and I didn't even know, until very recently. Still, I'm still learning what it is, and especially, like, in these kids, my kids, they, we're the only examples they have, and so far, it's been quite a tragedy that they haven't been shown a healthy example of a loving relationship. And so I was thinking about it, and I'm like, well, I was never shown a good example either, and I know my parents weren't, and I've heard a lot of people say that generational trauma is a real thing, and pretty much if you do nothing, you just act on your automatic behaviors pretty much your whole life, then you're doomed to repeat the same behaviors that your parents did. And that's a real thing. It's absolutely real. My parents split up when I was very young, and my grandparents on my mother's side, I don't really know much. I mean I do for my father's side, but with my mother's side, my grandfather, he was an alcoholic. Both sides of my family, both men were alcoholics, and there was a lot of physical abuse, a lot of emotional abuse. Like my mother, her siblings, they all experienced like some hardcore trauma. More so than I did as a child. Because my mom was like, screw this, and she split up with my dad, which was definitely, I think, probably the better choice, of her options, So, it wasn't exactly the same kind of trauma that my mother experienced as a child that was handed down to me. It was a little bit different, but ultimately, it's the same. I have never gotten a good image of a healthy relationship or a loving relationship. I never had it. My parents never had it. Either of them, both on both sides, neither of them had a good, healthy relationship or a healthy household, with the mother and the father being, true partners, helping each other, supporting each other, all the good stuff that should come with marriage, or ideally comes with marriage. So, or just having kids, So, so with my knowledge right now of basically faced with the reality of the situation when my girlfriend gave me a deadline to move out. This was months ago. We've since tried improving. I've changed a lot. I still have an incredibly far way to go to be healthy, but ultimately I was faced with the reality of the situation. Do I want to split up and break up the household, or do I want to just do I want to start becoming responsible? Do I want to assume liability? And it took a minute, but I decided that I did. And up until, maybe last week, I was taking full responsibility for the relationship issues and all that stuff. I thought that I could just change it from my end. And while I did a little bit, it didn't really change. And you can't, I firmly believed, even just a couple weeks ago, that if the man in a family is leading properly, then the household will essentially fall in line and just kind of like mold into, it would conform essentially. It would basically just like form based on my actions. And in that book, the Getting the Love You Want book, he states that it's pretty much impossible to do it from only one side. It has to be commitment from both sides, both the man and woman of the family. And he talked a little bit about self-love and, trying to heal your childhood trauma on your own. And as much as I'd like to, and as much as I would just like to completely do everything on my own and not need my girlfriend to do anything at all to fix this relationship, it doesn't seem possible. So anyway, we argued both days this weekend, and I think, or maybe one of the days this weekend and then Friday, something. 2 pretty big arguments within within like 3 days or something. And the good news about that is that she's began reading the book. She's agreed to make the commitment to jump both feet in and start addressing her issues as well, because it's kind of naive to assume that anybody didn't experience at least some type of childhood trauma. Even in like a great household, there was still some trauma. And really what I want to get, the point of this episode is basically just make it known and state it. Put it on the record that if you do not make a solid, concise commitment to heal your generational trauma, then it's going to continually be perpetuated. It's just how it works, it seems. I don't know how, I don't know why, but ultimately it seems that we're put with someone, whether that be if you're a man, if you're put with a woman, you're put with a partner that is meant, like, the purpose is to heal your wounds. And while I do, I truly think that God is loving, a truly loving being, and however you want to explain God, but the purpose is love. you know. And if you can get that, if you can understand that and actually believe it and see it, then the trauma that you experience, like the tragedy that has been my life, you know, I used drugs, you know, the majority of my life. I've been under the influence of some mind-altering substance for the majority of my life. And it seems like I don't know. I don't really know. I don't have the answers yet. But it's definitely to cope with some trauma that I've experienced. And that might have been something that neither of my parents did. You know, like I think the act of circumcision really puts the boys that the procedure's done to, or the abuse is done to, we'll just call it for what it is, child abuse, sexual abuse. It's like, all right, so you come out of the womb, which is ultimate love, you know, no separation, no, you don't even know pain is the thing. And then all of a sudden, like, you're thrown out into the world. It's like bright, loud noises, all these strange people, you don't recognize their voices, like in a hospital birth or even like at a home birth with a midwife. But all of a sudden, you know, as the child is just starting to get used to the world, then all of a sudden somebody literally chops part of him off, you know. And that, even if it's not consciously remembered, that is psychological trauma. Probably like one of the greatest examples of a possible trauma that could happen before conscious memory. And I'm not saying that like the fact that I was circumcised is definitely the cause, but I'm using this example as a way to convey that I might not even be conscious of the trauma. I might not even remember it, you know, and somehow I've got to figure it out, you know, because until this trauma is healed, whatever it is, or traumas are healed, then my life will probably continue to be a tragedy, you know. Yes, I've had happy moments. Yes, I've had fun times, stuff like that, moments of clarity where I didn't feel like I didn't even realize I was living in a tragedy, that my life had been a tragedy until like 2 days ago, you know. But thinking about my children and thinking what I've subjected them to, what we've subjected them to, it's really time for me and my girl to get serious about trying to figure out how to stop this generational trauma, because it's really it is a tragedy. And the good thing about realizing that it has been a tragedy is that with my girlfriend and I coming together on this commitment to heal using the process laid out in Getting the Love You Want book, this 10-week program, you know, it's longer than that because it takes a while to read the book too. They suggest reading the book before you even start. So anyway, the fact that we both acknowledge the fact that we have some stuff we need to deal with personally, and the possibility of us using each other to heal our own trauma and actually becoming a loving relationship. It's basically, this time right now is an awakening, you know. We can use it as probably the greatest opportunity that either of us will ever experience in life for a possibility of growth. So my mom sent me this quote from somewhere. I don't know where she got it from, but it was basically like, until we can use the challenges in our life, once we can use the challenges in our life and surf over them to grow rather than being overturned by them or whatever, then once you can do that, use the challenges in life, the obstacles, the pain in life to grow, then you can literally get through anything. You know, you will be taken care of if you are good and you are, morally good, truly good, and not trying to harm anybody or get over on anybody, anything like that, then you will be taken care of. And that's why I believe God puts these challenges in our lives, is, for one, to kind of see if we're capable of using them to grow. Because I don't know what our purpose is here, people in this realm, but I do fully believe that it's to grow. We're put here in order to learn something, and I think it is, part of it is to connect with the yin and yang merging and connecting truly. So a man and a woman truly coming together and becoming whole together. So anyway, while my life and the lives of my children, ultimately, fundamentally, they've had great lives, but the love part, the fact that they haven't seen a good, loving relationship, is a tragedy. And because I understand this and I've seen this, this is a great opportunity for growth. So when you have challenges in your life, just try and think, how can I grow from this? How can I grow through this? How can I use this to get stronger? So I'd be really interested to hear if there's anyone out there that have noticed their lives have been tragedies and overcame things, or anything like that. It'd be cool if people would share really big obstacles that they've successfully gotten through. Whatever, just leave it in the comments. But with that, that's going to be all I have for anybody all I have for everybody today. So make sure you remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Also, bookmark ilivetruth.com. Join the Telegram channel, I Live Truth, t.me/I Live Truth, no spaces. And also, if you found this interesting, useful, valuable, helpful, consider donating on ilivetruth.com. The monthly donations would be fantastic, but a one-time donation's fine. And even if you're not in the position to donate, or just not sure that you're ready to help support me on this journey, or support my mission to help others grow, then that's fine too. There's no need to donate, but it would greatly help me, in my quest, my mission to be around my family more and grow together. So anyway, just hope everybody's good out there, and don't forget to reflect on situations and see and try and, think about whether or not whatever challenge you're facing is a test or, an opportunity for growth. Because I could bet that almost any obstacle that you have ever experienced, there was a possibility to grow through it. So with that, I'm going to get out of here. So once again, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and see you later.